Okay, my name is Nibi Mukherjee, and I am the CEO of E-limu. And E-limu is basically an application that takes the Kenyan curriculum and takes the content from textbooks that is mapped to the Kenyan curriculum and puts them on affordable tablets, 7-inch tablets. And basically what's different about it is rather than just digitizing the textbooks and making them a PDF, we add a lot of digital content. We add animations and videos and games and songs and music and quizzes, and we track the progress of the students. So that's basically E-limu in a nutshell. And we've so far...
Sorry, is it like a limited company?
It's a private for-profit company that's
Yes.
a social enterprise. So we have an advisory board that makes sure that at the forefront of our business objective is social impact. But we also have investors, private investors, who, like, it is a for-profit company, so we are sustainable. We're not reliant on donors or funding,
Grants
grants and so on. Yeah.
So it's purely business.
That's correct.
Yes, yes. And how many people are working for your company?
We're basically a startup, so there's myself, there's a CTO, we have a curriculum development manager who's familiar with the Kenyan curriculum, we have some teachers, and we have some interns.
And how far, when did you start your operations?
Started last year, about 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
And how far have you gone so far?
So far we've got a prototype platform, and we've piloted in 2 schools in Kawangware, a library in Kibera, and a library in Busia.
Okay, those are the places I'm also working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what kind of platform is it?
So currently it's an Android platform, but we're developing for it to be platform agnostic.
Okay, what
Yeah.
about Apple?
Yes, we
iOS?
wanted to make it web, like a mobile web platform, so you can use it on any device, whether it's an iPad or an Android tablet or a laptop. It should be agnostic. Yeah.
What about you are making them for tablet computers? Or?
Yeah, we're focused on tablets because they're portable, they're solar chargeable, but we want it to be a mobile web, so it can be used by any device that can access the web.
And you are employing the programmers?
That's
also.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are enough programmers in Kenya at the moment?
Not really. A lot of the work we're having to take out to Eastern Europe and to India.
Yeah, because that's also the problem in Finland.
Yeah.
So much in demand and
Oh, in Kenya they're not there. They're in demand, but
they are not there.
Yeah, I mean they're programmers who can do parts of it, but like the full project management, it's hard to find programmers in Kenya who know the full scope of the work.
So is it a secret, or can you also explain how you started your company, like financially? How did you put the investment in place?
So I was working for an IT training company, and I also had this Amka Kenya, a social community-based organization on the side.
Yes.
And so for me, it was kind of taking my know-how in IT and also with children and education and putting them together. So we started up as a bootstrap startup, no costs, no HR. We were working from the iHub, so no rent, no cost whatsoever, and we just decided to start it. And then we got some private investment to do, angel investment to do the initial development and deployment so far. And now we're looking for our second round of funding to really scale.
So your customers are schools?
Yes, schools. We're kind of feeding the market out now because we're getting a lot of inquiries from parents as well. So parents and schools.
So like private homes?
Yeah.
Because that was one question that what is the market? What is the target group?
Yeah.
So you are targeting schools and private homes.
Yeah.
And you see that the market is there.
Yeah, I mean, Kenyan parents put a lot of emphasis on education. In 2003, our primary school education was made free by the government, so it freed up a lot of disposable income. So we're seeing a lot of parents spending money on extra tuition and so on. Now, extra tuition last month was outlawed by the government in Kenya. So there is that kind of dedication by Kenyan parents to put money towards educational competitive advantage for their children, to kind of give their child that differentiation from their other students. And already we've seen at our pilot schools where we've put our tablets, there's a waiting list now because all the parents want their kids to go to that school.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So
for schools, it's a good selling point.
And the
affordable.
schools can afford the content. So you are selling access to the content.
We sell it like as a preloaded device, because first we said we'll just build an application. Then we said, well, who's going to access this application? And it'll only be the rich children in Nairobi.
Exactly.
So then we decided, let's sell it on a device that's preloaded. You don't need internet. Everything is there on it. If you have internet, it's great. You can access some other features, but otherwise it's a preloaded device. So now those devices, you can get a $500 device from Samsung, you can get a $100 device from China. So we're looking at the ranges, we're seeing what schools want. So it's quite affordable.
So it's like a package. It's a device and it's
content and a platform.
Content.
Yeah.
Yes, and altogether that's what is the price?
We're looking at about $115, $120.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But in schools and classrooms, they need several devices.
We're looking at about 3 to 5 students per device.
And the schools are prepared to invest that money. Because that's exactly what I believe also is the future. Because especially in Africa, they don't have school books and it's easy to renew the content.
We're putting, like, inside our tablets, there's the content for 17 textbooks, plus the web, which is Wikipedia, dictionary, this, that, like, you know, there's 18 textbooks within that. Now those 18 textbooks cost 7,000 shillings if you go out and buy them in a shop.
Yes, yes.
But now you're getting them all here, plus you're getting updates, you're getting games, you're getting quizzes, you can log on and you can see what your child is reading, what quizzes they're performing well in, which areas maybe they need more attention on fertilization, maybe more on Kiswahili and so on. So we're able to like provide a lot more services, and then it lasts 2 years, not 1 year, 2 to 3 years, these devices. So
and then you have to buy a new one.
Yeah, I mean, generally the shelf life of like devices is 3 to 4 years, but we're saying if it's in the hands of children, maybe 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
But textbooks, 1 year. They buy new textbooks every single year. Yeah.
Well, what about the children in rural areas? Are they also included in your target group?
Yeah.
So it's through schools?
Yes. So, like I said, for the schools in rural areas, they don't have, maybe they don't have electricity, don't have internet connectivity. So we give them these devices, these tablets. You can plug in a solar charger, so the electricity is taken care of. Nowadays, Safaricom are using laser technology to provide connectivity rather than 3G. And they also have wireless in a wheelbarrow, so they can take like wireless to one school, they can use it, or the schools can be, you know, brought wireless like near an Equity Bank and so on, and they can update every 1 week or every 2 weeks.
And how do you see the future? So, like expanding rapidly, or?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting inquiries for this same technology all over Africa. So once we have our platform stable, then we can franchise it all over Africa and use different content, have different teachers in different countries.
So what subjects, school subjects, are included in your package?
Let me show you. Basically, it's the 6 subjects for KCPE for the primary school. I'll bring it right here.
So now you have like how many schools? 2 in Kavanpara, library in Kibera.
So these are the 6 core subjects for primary school. In secondary, they increase like sciences, biology, maths, physics, and so on. And they have other subjects. Then we have quizzes, games, news, fictional stories, exam tips. And if you're a teacher or a parent, you can also get some guidance on like how to be a good teacher, how to be a role model, how to recognize learning disabilities, things like that. Then the content is divided into chapters and topics and pages. Whether it's an animation or a video, it takes up the full screen. There's games like subject-specific games, and then games just generic games on focus, memory, speed, cognitive thinking. And then the quizzes is really where we track the progress of the students. So, you know, a teacher will say, oh, I covered weather and the solar system last week, But if I look at quiz number 3, question number 4, it was about the planets, and most of my students answered it wrong. So I have to go back. Otherwise, they would have just continued going, because you just think that you've taught something, so your students must know it.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a really good way for parents and for teachers to track the progress of their students and see what they're doing well.
So there is a lot of content. Who is making all the animation and videos and
open educational resources throughout, and we're working with Pearson's now as well. Yeah.
So you are buying from them.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's outsourced.
Yeah, and then we also get content other than what's in the syllabus, because our syllabus in Kenya hasn't really been revamped since 1968. So we were looking at it and we said, okay, this is a great learning tool, but if we're going to teach children, let's teach them other important things. So we have an entire, like wherever there's a green background like this, it's content on responsible citizenship, so environmental consciousness, social justice, human rights. We've developed content on personal financial literacy, how to take care of your money, what does money mean, how do you save, what do you do with your savings. So all of that is like well received, especially by the National Commission for Integration and Cohesion. They're keen on, because after post-election violence in Kenya in 2007, there was, especially the children were very affected, and they grew up with a stigma that people from this tribe are good or bad, or you know, inherently I should have some kind of bias against them. So NCIC were very keen on targeting children, especially between the ages of 12 and 16, and making sure that they don't sit with that mindset, that we change that now rather than them growing up with it, that kind of bias or tribalism. So we're pushing out a lot of content to say that we're Kenyans, we're one country, we should get along, and not just like theoretically, but you know, if someone's house is burning down, why should you care? And it doesn't matter that they're not your neighbor, but why should you care? What can you do about that? And what's wrong with that? Things like that.
Oh, that's great. Social responsibility.
Exactly.
Excellent, excellent. A lot of content there already.
Yeah.
So have you got any competitors here?
I mean, there's a lot of people in the mobile technology. I don't know if you've spoken to, there's one called Kitabu, kytabu.org.
Can you please write it?
Kitabu.org. There's someone called Tony Ndungu.
Yes.
So the Kitabu is basically a way of like textbooks, but like all textbooks, primary, secondary, different publishers on one application. And then instead of having to buy a textbook, sometimes it's very expensive, you can just buy one chapter.
Yes.
Or you can buy one page, and you can buy it for one day, you can buy it for a week, you can buy it for a month, you can see what works best for you. And then there is another girl, also her name is Tony Maravigilia or something.
Yes.
She has something called M-Prep, and that is using basic Nokia phones, like simple dumb phones, using SMS to do quiz questions. And then there is...
do you know if anybody's using mobile phones for like audio stories, so that you can download audio stories?
I know Safaricom were working with the Kenya National Library Service to do that. And I think Story Moja might be, they're making not necessarily just audio, but animated stories.
Animated stories for mobile phones.
Yes.
Okay,
for mobile phones and tablets. And
yes,
so on.
yes. Actually, it seems that there are many things cooking here.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. Are you working with teleoperators?
I mean, we started to, but like to use Safaricom data to use this, it would be very expensive. So we're trying to like find some kind of wireless solution for them. Yeah, I guess these would be good people to. I'll forward you this email.
Right.
If you speak to these people. And also on Facebook, there's an, I have really bad handwriting.
No, it's very clear.
And Tech Meet Up Nairobi. If you look for that, there's a lot of, you might get. Can you just put your email?
Yes.
And then, I don't know if you'd want to, this Planet Rock is haven't really
Because
done
out, it was in a strange place.
shift.
Yeah.
Alright.
What do you think about the idea of combining entertainment and education? Like when we speak about entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's undisputably the way to go. I mean, research has shown across the board that, like, people, not only children, but people definitely learn better when they're having fun.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's disputable at all. Yeah, and the use of technology in making that learning process fun is further emphasized in research and shown that it does work. Yeah.
Good. Let me see what other things there are before we go to my project. So within the next 3-5 years, you would say that the entertainment content business is growing.
That's correct.
Rapidly, and Kenya and the market is able to provide sustainable business for small companies working with these issues.
I think so. I mean, the reason why something like M-Pesa worked in Kenya is because people say it was very much a perfect storm. One, people are already used to having mobile phones in their hands, so the market is ready for mobile technology. Two, we have the infrastructure, so we have the Safaricom's, we have the data, we have the electricity that's coming along. We also have English-speaking educated population, so I think all those things in our demographic and our economy are ready. And the government is encouraging more and more private sector in mobile. Yeah.
Also from abroad, like investors from abroad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow.
Well, what about the content? Is it all in English or also Swahili and in other small languages?
The teaching medium in Kenya is English, so our content is in English. In Swahili, it's Swahili. Yeah, for the Swahili subject. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You were saying about the target group that it's the entire Kenya, including rural and urban areas, schools, private homes.
Yeah, I mean, parents have some disposable income. In low-income families, it's very little. But schools are given a budget. Schools are given a budget for textbooks, they're given a budget for facilities, they're given a budget for teacher salaries, and now they're being given a budget for ICT. So they have to spend that money. Are they going to spend it on a desktop? Are they going to spend it on a laptop? Or are they going to spend it on a device that costs 1/10 the price and is solar chargeable and has content within it, rather than just technology for the sake of technology?
So, like private homes and parents, they have been buying the device and the package from you already.
Yeah, a few homes have.
Yes.
But we need to fix our product a little bit before we're able to go to retail. So we're still in that stage. Yeah.
And you are planning a big marketing campaign after that.
Yeah.
Addressed to parents and children.
Exactly.
Good. In what time frame about? Within a year or?
Within 3 or 4 months, hopefully. Yeah.
So beginning of next year already?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, that's great. And then we were talking already about the financing possibilities, and you said that you got like investors and business angels.
I mean, there's a lot of foreign investment coming to Kenya, especially in the tech scene. There's a lot of innovation hubs like this place, iHub, Growth Hub, 88 miles per hour. And there's also local investors and private financing.
Good. But platforms we were talking. So you are using Android at the moment, but
we want to move up.
More, yes. And you also mentioned about the affordable devices.
Yeah.
The most affordable come from China.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were also discussing like the programmers, lack of programmers in Kenya.
That's been one of our biggest hurdles.
Yes, yeah. And but you got like other professionals, marketing, distribution.
Yeah.
They do exist here.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that market is ready in Kenya. So if you want to enter the market, then other than the technical skills, to do business in Kenya is a lot easier than anywhere else in Africa, in terms of getting the people to make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you gave me a list of other things that are being done here for mobile devices and who is doing what.
Yeah.
And what about the pricing? When you're pricing these products?
We're too early to like know what's the right price right now. What we've seen so far is that our price point, 10,000, 15,000 shillings, is people are ready to pay for it. I mean, enough to keep us sustainable. But, you know, there are people living on less than $1 a day. So they're not able to afford it. But for schools, for the government, it's a very cost-effective solution.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Yes.
But yeah, I think a little bit more research needs to be done on what kind of pricing would work.
Then we were discussing the language, so it's in English, and Swahili lessons are in Swahili.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you at the moment also developing new content?
Basically, what we do is we see the results of like what the students are reading and what quiz results they're getting right. And every 2 weeks, our teachers sit down and they say, well, you know, these questions are being answered wrong, so we need to, you know, question number 6, quiz number 4 is being answered incorrectly, so let's go back to that topic, whether it's about, you know, algebra or trigonometry, and let's go and change the content. Maybe we need to put another video, maybe we need to put a picture here, maybe we need to make more content. So we change the content every 2 weeks.
Okay, good. So, what kind of advice would you give to me as a Finnish person developing things and content in Finland if we want to approach also Kenyan market with the content?
What kind of content are you making? Is it like animations or is it games?
Actually, it's where should I start? It's a series of e-books.
E-books.
And the content is like environmental. It's a short format stories about animals and nature. So the background is that I was writing 20 stories about farm animals in Finland. And I got about 10 hours of video material from the farms and hundreds of photographs. So, and I've been developing this since 2003 for like interactive television or all kinds of internet communities, etc. But when I found out about these tablet computers, I realized that this is exactly the platform for the product.
Absolutely.
So I started developing the content, and the idea is, first of all, is like interactive ebook series with multimedia elements. So it contains animation, video, photographs, text, different activities, interactive activities, and my idea was to make like one story per book. So there would be like 20 books and translate them into different languages.
I see.
Like Finnish, English, Swahili, and it also includes audio story, so that it teaches children to read and write, creative storytelling, speak properly. You can enlarge it like taking photographs, taking videos, etc. And it's combined with a Facebook community.
Oh wow!
So you can share your stories, your photographs there, and it's all about environment. And now I'm checking here. I've got a colleague who is writing and collecting African stories, like short stories. So I would like to have another 20 stories from Kenya about the wildlife and environment. Like traditional stories, they do exist already. All new stories, like mine are completely new, so the copyright belongs to me. It's always about these copyright questions as well. So I would like to continue like collecting these stories from different parts of the world and sharing them with children, always translating them into English and the local languages, so that people, the children learn about cultures.
So have you actually digitized them already, like made them animated stories?
Not yet.
You haven't?
No, the whole year I've been applying money.
I see.
Because it's very difficult in Finland to combine technology, because it means its own platform, like publishing platform.
So instead of finding financing to do your own publishing, I would say approach Storymoja.
Storymoja, this one, yes.
Yeah.
They got their own website.
I would say contact Storymoja, and they can animate your stories for you.
Yes.
They're looking for stories to animate.
Really?
Yeah, and they do the voice, they do the videos, they do all of that. And then
they got their own platform for the stories.
Yes.
And they're selling it through the internet, or?
No, you go and speak to them.
Okay.
I'm sending you the contact. There's a lady there called Leah Kasam, she's really nice.
Leah?
Leah, I've just emailed it to you.
Excellent. So this is?
Leah, A-L-E-Y-A.
L-A-L?
E-Y-A.
Y-A. Leah.
Yeah, I've just emailed it to you.
Excellent, excellent. You know her personally?
Yeah. So speak to her. They can animate your stories for you. I would say the only advice I give you is to like localize it. Like the stories we have on our platform, we said like from the very beginning, we're not going to write about like snow and Christmas and dollars and lemonade stands. It has to be relatable to local Kenyan students. So even when we're teaching about maths, like if we're teaching Pythagoras theorem, often like the videos we see are like with Empire State Building and so on. So instead of that, we use KICC. If we're learning about, there's 12 friends, because Uwezo did the study, they asked the students, standard 8 students, 12 divided by 4. And they said, okay, 70% got them right. Then they took that 30% and they asked them the same question. They said, now you have 12 mandazis and your 4 friends. How many mandazis do you get each?
So they understand it
Half
better.
of them got it right.
Yes,
So like really, like my advice is like localize the content. If there's a farmer, make sure his, or the farm maid, make sure her name isn't Olga, make sure it's Mama Wambo.
Exactly, yes.
So,
but on the other hand, I would like to also teach about different cultures and countries and climates.
But frame that
as Kenya.
Like we're moving away from Kenya now. And like let's see how things happen over here. Like let's look at a Kenyan farm, let's look at a farm in Finland. Let's see the similarities, let's see the differences. But don't frame it as relate to this story. Because it's not. It seems like a very foreign concept to them.
Okay, that's very, very important. So localize the stories.
Yeah, localize the stories. Even with farming, like the fact that we don't have winter here is, it doesn't make sense to teach children in Kenya about farming in a way that incorporates the concept of winter. So localize the stories, the characters. And then the technical agricultural part of it as well.
Yes. Like my idea wasn't to educate children about farming, but like my animals and my animal stories are imaginative. Like the animals are like humans, so they are thinking in a human way.
More creative. So it's a story moja.
Yeah, it's very, very creative, and that's my purpose to empower the children with creative tools and make them creative, because creativity is very important also when you are learning.
And I think we're moving away, like Storymoja have done a lot of, publicity, because before, especially in Kenya, if you look around, you'll never see people reading a book or a novel. People will read newspapers sometimes, but if you go to a bookshop, if you go to a bus stop, if you go to a cafe, you'll rarely see people reading. And the stigma is that Kenyans don't read. And when children are growing up, when they're seen reading storybooks, the parents tell them, no, that's a waste of time. But now we have research, and we've shown that children who read storybooks, children who see that we need to imagine a different
Exactly.
world, they're doing better. They're performing better
Exactly.
in school.
That's
they're performing
exactly.
better in life. So we're showing them that research and saying, actually, reading imaginative storybooks is really good for your children. And we need to push that concept to the parents and say, you know what, even if it's a cow that's talking, somehow that's going to help your child do better in their exams.
Exactly. My cow is flying.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not. Kenyans are very test driven. They must get good exam results. So we're changing that concept a little bit now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, that's exactly the point I'm making with my
and also,
ideas.
and maybe also that kind of sensitization as an introduction to your stories would be good, like a little note to parents with statistics or something. I don't know. Maybe that would be a good idea.
And in the marketing, yes, to explain them that this is good for your kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. This was really great.
And then I want to put your stories on my tablets.
Actually, do you want to read them? The stories are ready. I made 20 in Finnish. 17 of them have been translated into English already.
Okay.
And I got the pictures, but because I'm using PC, so I got them on a memory stick. But that does it work?
Okay, let's try it. And